Welcome to Super Agents Live. This is the one place where you can come and hear the most successful people in real estate. You'll hear how these super agents built their businesses, how they stay productive, and how they stay motivated. Who am I? My name's Toby Salgado, and I made my first $1 million in real estate. And I'm your host for the next 30 minutes while we talk to yet another amazing real estate entrepreneur. Stay tuned.
Let's go! Yeah!
Ladies and gentlemen, guys and gals, hey, Toby Salgado here, host of Super Agents Live. Thank you so much for tuning in today. Hey, the show today, I have a guy, bring him on. His name is Aaron Kaufman, and he's a recruiter for KW. Now, we don't just talk about KW and recruitment and all that. We get into a ton of stuff. We talk about it on the show today. We talk about why you should put your brand above everything. Super important. Why it costs 7 times more money to get a new customer than just marketing to your list and past clients. Why you should do that. We talk about recruiting and retention. How to pick the right brokerage for you. Now, I think that's important. I think, we do dig into KW a lot here, but finding the right brokerage, finding the right place where you can thrive is important. We talk about that. We talk about why you should focus on lead generation 3 hours a day and why the people who do that go out and murder it. They kill it. And why people who don't win. So we talk about social media. We talk about why you should blog. We talk about how to optimize your marketing and sales funnel. And look, this guy was a really, really passionate guy. I kind of listened to it again, and it's funny. At minute 42, you hear me laughing because I'm just trying to break in, and this guy just keeps rolling on, and that's okay. He really, really is passionate. So I really hope you like this one. Stay tuned. Now, before we get to that show, get to the content, I just want to tell you a couple quick things that I always do. Hashtag, right? Unpack that idea. 2, this show needs reviews. I haven't asked for reviews for a very long time. So it takes a couple minutes. Go to the site, or you can go to iTunes and just give the show an honest review. I'd love it. And if you don't know, it's funny. Some people listen to the show on iTunes. Some people listen to the show on Stitcher. Some people, oddly enough, just literally type it up, superagentslive.com, and listen to it there. So you have lots of listening opportunities. We do have show notes. We have a lot of other stuff on the site. So I would say go check out the site, superagentslive.com. And if you don't know, we've been launching our radio campaign. If you want to add another 100 transactions, 200 transactions to your deal flow, the one surefire way to do it is radio. Now radio is not right for everybody. You have to have a team. You have to have a budget. But if you think you are right, send me a message. Let me know. I'm only putting one agent on the radio in each market, right? There's some exclusivity there. So if you think you want to be that person, send me a message, send me an email. Let's chat. Let's see if you're a good fit. All right. Hey, let's get to the show. I hope you love it. So I'm thrilled to welcome Aaron Kaufman. Hey, Aaron, thanks for taking the time out today.
No problem, Toby. Thanks for having me.
So listen, Aaron, I've given the audience a brief overview of your background, but maybe take a minute, tell us a little bit about yourself and your business.
Sure. I'm a former active real estate agent, was previously with Coldwell Banker, came to Keller Williams, sold actively with Keller Williams for about 5 years, and then became really inspired by my experience at Keller Williams and the wealth building opportunity that Keller Williams Profit Share offers our associates, and sort of made a shift in my life back in '05 where I decided to make my one thing attracting agents to Keller Williams, and really focused on that for a long time. And now I've kind of evolved into a growth coach, not just consulting people coming into the real estate business, but also, coaching Keller Williams agents, et cetera. So I don't sell actively anymore, but, I coach and train new agents and existing Keller Williams agents.
Gotcha. Okay, cool. Yeah, listen, let's talk a little bit about the KW model, because I know it's different, and it was so funny. I just this morning I had a phone call from this guy in Danbury, Connecticut, and he's like, look, man, I can either join a KW team or this other company. I never heard of them. It's East whatever. And look, and he may not, for that person, he may not know this model, and I don't know it well enough to so take a couple minutes and explain the model and how it's different from Coldwell Banker.
Sure. And Toby, let me just preface this whole conversation with a quick disclaimer. Any opinions or thoughts that I expressed in this podcast do not reflect those of Keller Williams International. I'm affiliated with the company, but I'm also an independent contractor, and I just want to make sure that I'm protecting myself as well as Keller Williams from anything stupid I might say.
You're not a KW spokesperson.
But here's the deal, Toby. Not to get too deep in the conversation, but I mean, basically there are three kinds of real estate companies. There's the dependent model, the independent model, and then you have what Keller Williams is, which is an interdependent model. And, Gary Keller, is such a visionary in this business. But, the one thing that he really did to revolutionize the real estate industry, he said, look, I'm going to be the first person in this industry to acknowledge the one thing that every other real estate company refuses to acknowledge, and that is agents are the reason real estate companies do business, not real estate brand marketing. So Gary says, you know what, we're going to create a real estate company where agents will never want or need to leave. And so he creates this interdependent model where the agents are treated as partners. We're treated as stakeholders in this company. And profit share is a part of that, but there's this sense of ownership that Keller Williams agents have in this company. And, we receive about 48% of the owner profits get shared back with the agents. But the biggest value proposition of being an agent at Keller Williams is what happens is now you get all these agents that are vested in a common goal, which is to make Keller Williams as profitable as it can be. So, Toby, we don't just have the best training, the best education. We have a company where agents are actually sharing ideas and masterminding with each other in an industry that's always been dog eat dog. And so the profit share money, look, that's icing on the cake. But the reality is when you're a part of a real estate company of 100,000 real estate associates that all have a vested interest in the common goal, it kind of gives you a little bit of an advantage over agents at other companies where not only is there no incentive to share ideas, they're actually directly competing for the same thing. And so that's kind of how we're different. We're a profit-sharing company, but we're also an open book company where the agents are involved in the decision-making process. And as a result, Toby, in 30 years, Keller Williams has become the number one real estate company in North America, has zero debt, is more profitable than it's ever been in a down economy. And pretty much every other major real estate company is having major issues because brand marketing is not what drives real estate business. It's real estate agents. And if you can give them what they want, they'll never leave your company.
Right. Okay. So thanks for, I mean, that was a good sort of, you unpack that, dependent, independent, and then interdependent. Now, here's something I'm not clear on. So
Sure.
let's say that somebody works for a Coldwell Banker. I just got this question the other day, right? So it's Toby Salgado sells real estate, or do you put your personal brand in front of the corporate brand, or do you put the corporate brand in front of your personal brand? And you
That's a great question.
Yeah. So you were aiming at people want to put at Keller Williams, they want to build the KW brand over their brand. Is that what I'm hearing from you?
No, it's actually the other way around. So there's a great quote from Gary Keller, Toby, and he says, at Keller Williams, the agent is the brand of recognition. Keller Williams is the brand of reputation. Okay, so here's the deal. There's no question that we're the leaders in this industry on teaching agents how to brand and market their own business. All right, so we want them out there marketing their real estate business first, and Keller Williams, secondarily. Okay, the difference, Toby, is that Coldwell Banker, is, by the way, owned by the Realogy that owns Century 21, Sotheby's, ERA, Better Homes and Garden. Okay, this is a large corporation that values its brands as its greatest asset, and they spend an overwhelming majority of their resources marketing their brands to the consumers. They run Super Bowl commercials. They put ads in magazines, ads in newspapers. They sponsor Sports Center. They do all these great things. They're spending hundreds of millions of dollars a year marketing their company. And they're turning around, Toby, and they're training their agents to market their company too, as a company would do that values its brand. The problem for Realogy and Coldwell Banker is that people don't hire real estate agents because of the company they work for. They hire agents because of the agent. And I'm a great example. When I came here from Keller Williams, from Coldwell Banker, I brought all of my clients and all of my relationships with me to Keller Williams. And if you're looking for any kind of sign, Toby, of where this industry has gone in the last 30 years, you need to look no further than the fact that Keller Williams is now the largest real estate company in North America. We did it in 30 years. We have zero debt. And Toby, when's the last time you saw a Keller Williams commercial on TV or a Keller Williams blimp flying over a football game? The bottom line is we don't spend any money marketing our company to the consumers, and now we're the number one real estate company in North America. That should make people start thinking about how the industry has changed in the last 30 years.
Yeah,
right?
No, you should. And look, like the when you were talking about brand and these companies, Realogy and doing Super Bowl commercials and all that stuff,
sure.
and then that quote by Gary Keller. It made me think of a quote that Buddy Blake. I don't know if you know who Buddy Blake is, but Buddy Blake came. Yeah, he's a big time. He's a big guy in the Midwest or whatever. But here's a quote. I thought it was a great quote. He said when thinking about consumers, said buyers buy houses, but sellers buy agents. Right. So and one level up, that's sort of the brand buying and brand recognition that you're talking about.
Yeah. Yes.
So
and Toby, if I could put an exclamation point on that, just for if I may.
Sure. Yeah.
There's a business concept out there, which is, it costs any business 7 times more money to acquire a new customer as it does to retain an existing customer. Okay.
Yep.
Well, what makes Keller Williams different from pretty much every other real estate company out there is that, Toby, every other real estate company thinks their customers are buyers and sellers. Keller Williams believes their customers are real estate agents. Okay? So when you don't have to worry about your customers, a.k.a. your real estate agents, leaving your company and taking their business to another company because there's not a better company out there, then you don't have to spend any money acquiring new customers. Okay? So I just want to make that analogy between how we view agents as our customers and how that sort of transcends into why Keller Williams spends no money marketing our company and has no debt. It's because we don't have to spend any money acquiring new customers. All we have to do, Toby, is attract the great agents and keep them.
Right. And by the way,
and their clients. Yeah, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, for everybody out there, if they're going, why is Aaron talking about Keller Williams like this? And it's because, look, you are an independent recruiter for Keller Williams, and this is what you do.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
But tell me what also drives me is, let's be clear here. I don't care how much money I can make building wealth through profit share. If I didn't believe Keller Williams was the best company for agents that were serious about being business owners, I wouldn't be having this conversation. So, yeah, obviously I'm biased to Keller Williams, but what I hope people who follow me on social media and who know me hear is that, look, I'm just speaking the truth. And when you speak the truth, life's a lot easier. So, I'm not in the business of trying to get people to join Keller Williams. I'm in the business of educating people so that they can make the best decision for themselves.
Right.
Period.
And again, I just wanted it to be clear on why. And by the way, you can find Aaron's site is moving-careers.com. So you can check him out, check out his stuff there. Okay. So let me ask you this. Because joining as a new agent, that's really who you work with a lot, right? You work with new agents a lot. Picking the right company to work for is very important. You want to find some place that gives you the most training. You also want to find a brand that matches your market. So if you are selling houses in Beverly Hills, you don't necessarily you don't want to join Remax. You want to join what's that Hilton Highland, or what
Sure, sure.
So
Well, I'm going to disagree with you, Toby. I mean,
Okay.
I think there's a value there to brand reputation and finding the right brand to fit your niche. But once again, what's more important is what's your value as a real estate agent to your potential buyers and sellers. And yeah, it's important to be affiliated with a reputable real estate company, and certainly it's not going to hurt to be affiliated with a reputable company that's also tailored to the market you want to do business with. But it should not be the defining factor for what you look for.
I
In a real estate
totally,
company.
I 100% agree. And if it sounded like I was saying that, I didn't mean that at all. I just having the right brand for your market is important. Because look,
Sure.
Sotheby's is a name. Sotheby's is, I don't know anything about their company, but Sotheby's is a name that when you hear Sotheby's, you think of expensive. You think of luxurious. You think of
Sure.
There's kind of
High end, absolutely.
There you go. Yeah, right. Okay.
Yeah.
So at what point, right today, KW has 100,000 agents. At what point does Keller Williams look? Let me start this way. In any company, or brokerage, you have the top 20. You have your three groups. The top 20% are the people who are killing it. You have the middle 60% who they're holding their own, but they're nothing to write home about, but they're holding their own. And then you have the bottom 20% just taking up space. What happens when Keller Williams gets to 300,000 agents and that bottom 20%, it starts to dilute the whatever brand strength KW has built?
Sure. Well, no, and you're hitting on a point that I'm very passionate about as well, which is, Keller Williams is growing at an astronomical rate. I mean, the most important thing is that our leadership and our culture and our standards have to keep up with that growth. Because, what's the value of a brand? I mean, most other real estate companies think the value of a brand is how much money they spend telling everybody how great it is. The reality is we're only as good as the agents that are allowed to market Keller Williams. So, we're a company that obviously wants to be in business with the right people. And, there's a great quote, Toby, from one of my favorite sort of TED Talk videos out there called The Golden Circle by a guy named Simon Sinek. I don't know if you're familiar with him. He wrote a book called Start With Why.
Yep.
But, one of his great lines is that, look, it's not about being in business with everybody that needs what you have. It's about being in business with the people that value what you value. And I think the great thing about Keller Williams is that, we're a training and education company disguised as a real estate company. And, also we're a company that's in business with agents that think like business owners, meaning we're not in the business of providing our agents with leads. Okay. We're in the business of teaching agents how to be business owners and how to generate their own leads. And Toby, just as much as I do, is that, real estate agents that don't understand that they're in the lead generation business first and the real estate industry second, they're the ones that are not in the business 5 years from when they get in.
Yep.
So my message to you is, look, nothing's perfect. You're dealing with an industry that's got very low standards, unfortunately. What we hope as a company is that by being training-based and education-based and integrity-based and business-minded, that, look, we're attracting agents that value what we value. And sure, 20% of Keller Williams agents will always make 80% of the commission. What we hope is that we're raising the bar for this industry by being education-based and by attracting these type of agents. And ultimately, look, the bottom 20%, it's just not worth it to be at Keller Williams if you're not a producing agent. There's no reason to be here. It's not the cheapest place to be. So eventually, you hope that time will weed out the people that are in our lower 20%, or the company will try to do their best to raise those people up. But at the end of the day, Toby, I deal with a lot of people coming in this business. Some people don't want to be a business owner. Some people want to play real estate agent. And sometimes it takes them a year or two in the business to realize they're in the wrong business,
Right. Yeah.
So you hope by default we're raising the standards for this industry, and that the type of agents that are going to be ultimately in our lower 20% are going to be better than the industry standards. You know what I mean? But we always are challenged with that stuff. Why waste energy and education and training and technology and support on agents that never are going to participate in it, that don't come into the office, that don't teach classes, or share ideas. I mean, so you can offer them what they want, what they need, but only a portion of them are going to actually do what you tell them to do.
Yep, no, I agree. So let's kind of move into how you coach, right? You're a growth coach. Now, you said something pretty interesting to me just a second ago, and you said some people want to be business owners.
Yeah, have a job.
Well, hold on. This is what you said. Some people want to be business owners, that's own a business. Yeah. Then you said some people want to play real estate agent, right? That's have a job to me.
Sure.
And then earlier you said, if you don't know that you are in the lead generation business, first and then real estate second, you're not going to be around for very long. How do you, when people come to you, again, you're a growth coach.
Sure.
How do most people come to you? Is it that they just want a job and they want time freedom and they think they're going to get financial freedom, and they get neither because, or they never get the financial freedom because they take advantage of the time freedom?
Yeah.
Well,
I mean,
go ahead.
So let me tell you how it works for me. My whole system is internet based, Toby. And so I'm a lead generator. I'm a numbers guy. And so I'm driving as much traffic as I can to that website, moving-careers.com. I've driven over 1 million plus visitors to that site. And then I have a contact page where if people are interested in starting a career in Keller Williams or switching real estate companies, they fill out my contact form. Well, on my contact form, I ask some pre-qualifying questions that are allowing me to figure out, is this person that's coming through my website, a 20% lead, or are they an 80% lead? So I ask questions like, hey, are you going to be full-time or part-time, which you and I both know is a trick question, okay? Yeah, you're not going to be successful in a real estate career being part-time, okay? It's just not going to happen. And the fact is, you can be, a lot of people think, when they think full-time, part-time, they don't understand that either you are thinking full-time, you have a full-time mentality, or you're just not successful. So when I talk to people, that are stay-at-home moms, or people that are have been out of the workplace for a couple of years, they think part-time means, I'm part-time because I have kids. And what I make them understand is, look, you better be, when you're at home with your kids, you better be lead generating full-time. Okay, or you'll never break through. So I'm kind of asking questions like that, like, hey, where do you envision your leads coming from? What's the most important thing you're looking for from a real estate company? So by the time that lead comes to me, I kind of have an idea. Are they thinking like a business owner, or are they thinking like they want a job, or they want to play real estate agent? Then I try to get on the phone with the people.
Hold on.
Yeah, go ahead.
Let me just interject real quick, because people, I think, when they think about starting a company, a business, whatever, whether it's real estate or a plumbing company, part-time is not 20 hours, and full-time is not 40 hours. Full-time means full-time.
Absolutely.
This is the first thing you're thinking about your business while you're eating breakfast. You're thinking about your business when you're going to sleep. So I think that is something that people don't get. Full-time is full-time. It's 7 days a week.
I mean, Toby, the one thing you're guaranteed in a real estate career is a job. Okay? Once you get your real estate license, I guarantee you will be hired. Okay?
Right.
Now, whether or not you make any money, well, that's up to you.
Yeah.
Okay? But the reality is, so what I'm trying to do basically, Toby, is I'm trying to figure out what's motivating these people. What's their big why? Why do they want to be in real estate? And if I hear some of the key words that, you and I think about, things like, I want control, I want fulfillment, I want unlimited glass ceiling of achievement, I want flexibility. Well, if you're telling me you want all of those things, and then the next thing out of your mouth is how much does it cost? Or what kind of leads do you provide me? There's a disconnect. So what people need to understand is, it's very simple. Quality of life in a real estate career starts at lead generation. And if you're not willing to take ownership of generating your own leads, you will be an employee for the rest of your real estate career. Okay? The people that have the quality of life that a real estate career can provide on the high end, they consider themselves lead generators first, real estate agents second. So bottom line is, back to what you're saying, Toby, is how do I consult these people? I say, tell me what you're trying to achieve. And then I show them how to achieve it. And if they don't like what they're hearing, that's fine. they're not a fit for Keller Williams, and they're probably not somebody that, I should be having a lot of conversations with. But once again, what excites me is that they can make a decision now based on having an understanding of what this business is about versus everybody who comes out of licensing school and has no idea what this business is about because they don't teach you about how to be a real estate agent. They teach you how to pass a test. And so these people come out of licensing school, they have no idea what this business is about. So by educating people, Toby, I'm assuming you've read the Millionaire Real Estate Agent book by Gary Keller.
Sure.
Look, half of my conversation with these people is leads, listings, leverage.
Yeah, I was just gonna. I didn't want to break in, but you were talking leads. Okay. I was like, that's how Gary starts his book, right? Leads.
Right. So if they don't like that conversation, the great thing about talking about leads, listings, and leverage, Toby, it's a great way to come from the mindset of contribution, but it's also a great way to scare the hell out of people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm coming from the mindset of contribution, but if you're not liking what you hear, this is not the place for you to come, and that's okay. Maybe in a couple of years you'll be ready. But right now, there's no reason for you to be a real estate agent at Keller Williams if you're not ready to be a business owner.
Right.
Period.
So one of the big pieces, I think in that book, one of the very interesting pieces that they talk about is building a team, and they get into how to hire. Right, hiring is, you can be a fantastic sales guy, but hiring is a skill that doesn't comes naturally to very, very few people.
Right.
Mainly because when you hire, you're looking for not good people, you're looking for great people, and ultimately you want to try to hire people better than you, and that's something. So again, let's go back. You pre-qualify these people. You think maybe they their mindset is right in terms of I'm going to get out there, I'm going to be full time, I'm going to be a lead generation monster, but then they go they can have the right mindset. But then what, right? So how does Keller Williams have a look? I know you guys do a lot of training. What does that what do those building blocks look like? Certainly
Well, look, yeah. Look. At the end of the day, you're a database manager. Period. Okay, it's a numbers game. Look, your job as a brand new agent or as any real estate agent is to get mind share of as many people as you possibly can. When people think about, hey, I need a real estate agent, or they know somebody that needs a real estate agent, it might be helpful if your name comes up first. So, look, if you open up a restaurant, Toby, you might be the greatest chef in the world, but if you can't get anybody to taste your food, you're not going to be open very long.
Right.
The same thing goes for real estate. You come into this business, and obviously, one side of this business is, hey, I got to commit to being the local real estate expert. I got to be education-based. I got to be knowledge-based. I got to be, committed to this business so that I can provide value in this business. Toby, I always talk to people that are like, well, I got out of the business, when the market shifted, or people that are saying, oh, God, the market shifted in 2007 and, I lost all my business. Well, guess what? The reason you lost business is, one, you weren't running your business like a business owner, and two, you probably weren't providing a lot of value to your clients, because the reality is, Toby, a lot of Keller Williams agents and a lot of the top agents at other real estate companies, they had some of the best years of their career when the market shifted in 2007. Because guess what? Customers need great agents in a bad market. Okay? So going back to your question, look, so obviously half of how we train agents is providing them with values, teaching them, training them. Agents are sharing ideas. They're learning how to provide value. But the other side of it is really database management and learning how to touch people and being systematic and time blocking for lead generation. I think that's the one thing that pretty much where most agents end up failing in this business is simply time blocking for daily lead generation. We're big believers in this company that agents need to be lead generating 3 hours a day. They need to be locking themselves in their office from 9 to 12 every morning and be trying to add people to their database and touching existing people in their database. Because really, at the end of the day, Toby, that's where the rubber hits the road in this business. It's about touching your database. It's about, staying front of mind. And that's what this business is about. You want to be the person that people think about when they have a need. And if you're playing secret agent and nobody knows you're a real estate agent, or you're sending out 4 postcards a year, well, that person who touches them 33 times a year with value, they're not going to be calling you when they have a real estate, need, probably.
Yeah. No, look,
so
Aaron,
it's about being systematic and thinking like a business owner.
Right. No, I do know, and I totally agree with you. But what I'm trying to get at, I want to get to some of that rubber meets the road right now with you. So you can say, yeah, you got to provide value, you got to build your database, and then you got a time block. That's great, but that's
right.
If I just joined Keller Williams and you tell me that, I mean, you and I know that lead generation, time block, build your database, provide value. I know that, but people.
So that's general stuff. So then, and that's got to be the foundational concept there. Is, hey, you're a business owner.
How do you do that though? Like
adding people to your database. The second step of that is, look, you got to be listing based as an agent.
Whoa, wait, hold on. I here's what I'm getting at is so you tell me, hey, listen. Go lead gen for time block, lead gen for 3 hours, add people to the database. How? Again, what do I do? Because people don't know that, if you're just starting out. So step one is you write everybody a handwritten letter telling them you're become a real estate agent. Then you put them into your database, and now one of the great things about Keller Williams is that our touch programs are all systematized. So it's about it's about picking up the phone. It's about asking people about their lives. It's about asking them about their real estate needs. It's about providing value, whether you're utilizing social media. But it's also taking a more of a listing-based approach to this, which is, okay, look, you can't be the real estate expert of your whole city. One of the things Gary talks about is you got to think small to go big. So, it's about, I think one of the big mistakes new agents make, Toby, is that they spread themselves too thin. They want to be the expert of everything instead of trying to dominate a specific neighborhood or a social group or first-time home buyers. So, there's no substitute for walking into a Keller Williams office and seeing the training calendar, okay? And when you see, not just the business principal side of it, you see top agents sharing their listing presentations. You've got top agents that are experts on cold calling expired listings and FSBOs sharing their scripts. The bottom line is you come into this business, you have your contacts database software, you're immediately adding everybody into that database. You're letting everybody know that you're a real estate agent. And then the rest of your business is about adding people to that database and constantly touching these people, but also taking a targeted approach so that you're not trying to compete with 5,000 agents in your city to be the expert of Atlanta or Houston. You're trying to be the expert of something small, and then when you dominate that niche, then you can expand past that. But it's just about getting mind share. Look, Toby, there are a lot of people in this business that, I'll politely say, don't provide a lot of value, but they're killing it because they know how to ask for business and generate business. And, you can sit in a classroom for 6 months trying to learn everything you need to know about being a real estate agent, but if you don't generate business consistently, or take that kind of mindset approach, you're just not going to break through. So, I could sit here for an hour talking about, all the different training classes we have, but at the end of the day, you're a real estate agent, you're a business owner. The more people that know you're a real estate agent and think highly of you, the more leads you're going to generate. And if you take a listing first approach to that, Toby, we know that, hey, listings generate not just more listings, they generate buyer leads. And, look, and then the other side of it is Keller Williams is a huge, we're huge with technology. We believe that the internet, social media, blogging, Craigslist, these are great sources for free leads. I agree.
So it's about taking a systematic approach to that and generating enough leads that will allow agents to create some leverage in their business to focus on what they do best.
Right.
And there's a billion different ways you can get there. Pick the one that you're passionate about.
Yeah, so I agree with that, but people. So I agree with pretty much everything you said. Here's where, but it's all sort of high level stuff, and I want to try to get to one step deeper. Dominate a niche, right? What, how do you find that niche? How do you dominate that niche, right? So, I mean, let's get to some actual training pieces in this, if we could, because, so what kind of niches?
What kind of actual, I mean, you're talking about training. I mean, look, I mean, you want to dominate a neighborhood, guess what? Go knock on the doors, okay? Yeah. Hold an open house, every weekend. Hold 2 open houses every weekend in that neighborhood. Create a community website. Start a social media page. I mean, what do you want me to tell you as far as how you dominate a neighborhood?
Look, that was two great things, man. Create a community website. That's awesome.
Sure.
Do the Facebook page. So I mean, is there any? At the end of the day, selling real estate is just getting in front of people. That is it. Now,
absolutely.
Now there are.
And Toby, to be honest with you, it's not even about getting in front of people. It's about capturing the business. I mean, there are people in this business that spend 0 face time in front of their clients. All they do is generate buyer leads off the internet. And then they go out and they hire 8 buyer's agents that take all of their internet buyer leads out, and they do all the work, and that lead agent takes 50% of the commission, and they don't spend a second with that client. And I know you have a lot of listeners that are big thinkers. Well, Toby, the future of this industry is mega agent expansion, okay? And you've got people in this business that are so good and so systematized on generating business in their market that they're just replicating their systems in other markets and finding agents to service all their leads in multiple markets. Yep. So if you're a brand new agent who's playing real estate agent and who's not thinking like a business owner, you're not going to be able to compete in this business unless you take a systematic approach to it and you dominate your niche, okay? Because there's too much competition out there.
Yeah. I mean, look, I can think of a guy that I've had on the show. I haven't released his episode. It's actually part of a product we have. Mitch Reback. And Mitch, he's in Florida. He figured out something that worked, and all of a sudden he started buying up, web properties and all across the country, and generating leads that way. And I don't know what. I mean, he gets like 1,000 leads a month just organically, right? He doesn't spend much money.
Right. Right. Blogging is the greatest source of free leads. I mean, if an agent comes, I'll be honest with you, but if you come in this business today, you don't have to spend the money that agents used to have to spend to build their business up. If you were to start blogging, if you were to utilize Craigslist, if you were to do social media purposely, do a lot of things that don't require money, I mean, you can get to the same place without digging a financial hole to get there. And
yeah. So look, I mean, here's like, in terms of the internet, like an internet marketing funnel, right? Is Facebook ads to a conversion page, or to a webinar. You run that webinar, and then from the webinar, right, you make a sale, right? I think,
sure.
I believe that people can use that typical internet funnel in real estate. I've just not seen anybody do it yet. You got 100,000 agents at KW. What are some of the interesting things that you've seen people do?
Yeah, I mean, look, I'm actually living proof. I mean, if you told me 8 years ago that I would become a blogging social media guru, I would have laughed in your face. But I've been blogging, 2-3 times a week for the last 7-8 years, and honestly, I can't believe how high my Keller Williams career blog comes up on Google searches. I mean, I'm coming up ahead of Remax's website, Keller Williams' website, Coldwell Banker's website. So, the thing is, Toby, I don't really know what I'm doing. I'm just doing it. So, I mean, content is king when it comes to the internet. So, starting, if you're thinking about tying in what we've said so far, if you talk about think small to go big, well, if you have a website and your website is, Atlanta Homes, well, now you got to compete with, 5,000 other real estate agents that are competing for Atlanta homes for sale. But if you were to break your site down into sub niches and have a community page or a blog for each subdivision or neighborhood in Atlanta, well, now those sub niches are starting to come up higher because there's less competition. And typically most people that blog end up giving up. So, for me, you tie that into social media. And look, I think when you hear these top agents talking about, how they use technology to generate business, really what you hear from them is it's about providing value. It's about coming from the mindset of contribution. And as a result of taking that mindset, you become the expert in people's minds. And you don't have to ask for business because you're seen as the expert. I think a lot of people try to go for the kill. They go for the sale before they've ever established any value.
Yep.
All right. And I think if you take that approach with internet lead generation, you'll have a lot more success. And obviously response time is critical as well, but I kind of got off topic there. But
that's right. Look, let me jump on some of that real quick. So first of all, right, if people are going, hey, how do I provide value before I ask for the sale? And dude, I look, a guy called me just the other day. And he said, hey, Toby, I want some scripts. I want to build this. He bought this online brokerage thing. He's like, I want to, it's like the Walmart of, he's probably listening, but he's like,
Sure.
I want to get agents, and I want them to just give me $50 a month, and I don't care how good they are or whatever. I just need agents. And so he says, hey,
right.
Do you have any scripts? And I said, no, listen, I don't, not for recruiting, but I gave him a name. And this guy sends an email. This guy sends an email to the name I gave him and dropped my name in the email and literally gave that guy a boatload full of homework. And then like the next day he sends me a tweet and says, hey, this guy didn't get back to me. And I said, send me what you gave me. And this guy, boom, closed this guy. And I said, dude, you need to read. And I said all that to get to this. How to Provide Value Before the Ask. You should read Jab, 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 Right Hook by Gary Vaynerchuk. And he talks about how to do this on social. So
exactly.
The other thing I want to say real quick, because you brought up blogging. Now you can blog and there's millions of blogs. So how do you get in front? Now there's some smart ways, and this is something you can probably use, Aaron. So Google Plus, right? It's owned by Google. If you look up real estate coach, you'll get. I'm looking at it right now. Brian Buffini, Mark Ferry, NAR. Blah, 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 sort of at near kind of mid-page, my friend Greg McDaniel, who comes on the show all the time, posted on his Google Plus page. He just says real estate coach. And his post comes up above timandjulieharris.com, which by the way, Tim Harris is coming on the show tomorrow. So anyhow, you can blog, and there's lots of little hacks that you can use in order to increase your where you come up in search, and get your brand, get your message in front and out there. So I totally agree with blogging, and more than that, I would like to see people do hyper local podcasts.
Absolutely,
that would be super, super valuable for your business.
Well, and in terms, you touched on one thing I want to hit there. You said, there are a lot of hacks and stuff like that. Look, I think at the end of the day, when you look at who's successful with blogging or internet lead generation, it really comes down to there's no hack for it. Okay, it's about consistency and persistence over time. All right, so I think a lot of people try to do internet lead generation and they want to. Hey, let me just throw some money at it. Or there's got to be a better way to do this than me actually sitting down and writing blogs. So they think, I'll get purposeful about social media and I'll hire somebody to manage all my social media. Well, that kind of sort of defeats the purpose of social media, is to have your social media automated. So what I think people need to understand is that the path to success in any business is consistency and persistence. And there's not a hack for success in real estate. The fact is, really what separates the people that are successful from the ones that are not, are the ones that don't give up, and the ones that don't look for the quick and cheap fix. It's the ones that are committed to the process. Because what happens, Toby, is somebody wants to go out today and create a real estate training website. Look, I'll tell you, Toby, my website, it comes up for a lot of stuff that has nothing to do with Keller Williams. Okay, it comes up for how to cold call expired listings, how to build a real estate team, the showing assistant model. But the point is, it's going to, if somebody wants to try to compete with me, good luck. I've been doing it for 7.5 years, and the amount of content that's on my site you just can't compete with it. So I'm just, I want people that are listening to understand, these things are great, but you can't half-ass it because everybody else is doing that too.
Yep.
And it's the people that are persistent with it that over time are going to see success in anything that they do.
I 100% agree. You have to outwork the next day. I will say this: there is no hack to success in anything. But when you want to be successful, there are hacks along the way, just like that Google Plus
Absolutely.
thing. If so you need to don't spend a lot of time in trying to learn those hacks, because just start working and you'll do it. I will tell you this. There's two things you can do. Anybody could, and I'll tell you what they are. And I figured it out, right? After doing 100+ interviews, here's how to dominate your market. Not everybody can do it because it takes money, but these people are not smart and they're killing it. It is 1, Boomtown for buyers leads, and then 2, radio for the listings. And
sure,
if you do that, if you can get on the radio, and then you obviously have to have a team in place. You can do 300 transactions year one. I guarantee it.
Sure.
I've seen it happen. So anyway.
Sure. And that's one of multiple ways to dominate. I mean, that might be one that works for some people, but there are other ways to dominate your market simply without spending money. I mean, I know it takes longer, but it's possible. One thing I want to say also, Toby, is that the greatest hack of them all when it comes to success is obviously there are people that have come before you, okay, that have done it at the highest level. It's one of the great things about what you're doing, Toby. It's one of the great things about what makes Keller Williams different is that, there's an incentive at our company for agents to share ideas. So for a new agent to sit down with a guy like a Mark Spain or any of the Keller Williams agents that you've interviewed, and they're willing to share with those people how they've gotten there, that's the greatest hack of them all, which is creativity does not come before successful models. It comes after. And, if you're going to come into this business and try to figure out some new way to generate business before you start following the people or modeling your business after the people that are doing it today at the highest level, you're not going to get there faster. So I just want to make that point. There is a hack, and that is listen to the people that are living the lives that you want to be living.
I agree. Look, I totally agree. And again, you said, I mean, that's what this show is for. That's why I did the show.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this. And I have, you said earlier, walk into a Keller Williams office, and I did it. Did it. And it's a very small office, at the right where I shop, Vaughn's, a grocery store. There was a Keller Williams office. I walked in there, right? I had my card, and I was like, I wanted to talk to the people and see if, there's anybody worthwhile to have on my show. Now let me preface this. Most agents are paranoid, man. I will call in, and it's crazy. I don't know why everybody is super paranoid. I call in, I say, hey, listen, I find out about somebody, say, hey, look, I'd love to have on my show. I call their office, and everybody's like, I get to the front desk, and like they're sketchy, and I'm like, listen, I'm trying to help you build your brand. Come on my show. And listen, I walked into that office, and it was a trippy feeling, man. It was like they were paranoid, like, who are you? And I'm like, look, I have a show, and but why? Tell me.
We've talked about that. You and I've had some backdoor conversations about that stuff. First of all, let's be very clear here. I mean, number one, there's a reason Keller Williams International has zero debt. Okay, we do monetize our training, our education, our coaching, and we believe obviously the value is there. Okay, but the fact is, you're a third party outside of Keller Williams person that I know you're successful in your own spheres, but within Keller Williams, look, you know that I've tried to also break into that circle, but it's when you're on the outside looking in. People don't know what they don't know. So that's the first thing is that, look, you're some guy who's been successful. You have this mega agent show, but the fact is, in some ways, you are competing with the Keller Williams monetized coaching or whatever it might be. So that's a reality. The second part is, look, the Keller Williams model is perfect, but unfortunately, there's a human element to any model. And I'd be the first person to say it's every Keller Williams office completely following the model and delivering on our value proposition and operating from the mindset of abundance? No. Okay. But the reality is this has always been an industry where not only has there not been any incentive for people to share ideas, agents have always been trained to basically compete for the same thing, which is that at a traditional company, Toby, and everybody's being trained to market Caldwell Banker or trained to market Remax or trained to market Century 21 because their company is spending all this money telling everybody how great their company is. Well, so you've got all these agents that are being trained to market their company, but that means that they're directly competing with each other because there's a seller interview, multiple Caldwell Banker agents that are being trained to market Caldwell Banker? No. So going back to what you were saying, there's always been that sort of unwillingness to share ideas in this industry because everybody's an independent contractor and there's never been any incentive for people to share ideas. And I think that's what makes Keller Williams' value proposition what it is that we're the only company where there is an incentive. Now, I understand, look, out in California where you're at in San Diego, right, Toby?
Yeah.
San Diego?
Yep.
I mean, these are newer markets that Keller Williams has gone into. And you got to remember, we're building these Keller Williams offices on the backs of agents from traditional companies. So I'm in Atlanta where we've been for 23, 24 years. You know, it takes time to make people believe that, hey, there's actually a benefit in teamwork. You know, we believe together everybody achieves more. But sometimes when you're taking agents out of these traditional companies where they're locking their drawers at night, there's a certain mentality that you have to overcome. And I think that's where you have found maybe some of the roadblocks locally. But I can also tell you from a company-wide standpoint, it's hard to be an outside source trying to tap into the Keller Williams network because guess what? Keller Williams ain't going to be making any money off of you, Toby. And that's a disadvantage for you, okay, unless you find your way into partnering with MAPS and Dinah Kukoska. So, I mean, they're very protective of their...
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
Hey, wait,
right.
Aaron, hold on. Did you just move? I know you're on a cell. Did you just move to a weird part of your house because the audio quality dropped tremendously?
I did. I'm back in the space where I was before, so I apologize
Got
about
it.
that.
Okay. All right. So listen.
But you understand what I'm saying, right?
I do.
That's why the industry is always, people are scared to share ideas because people have been trained to compete with each other.
Yeah, and I think that is first, and you mentioned it, right? And that is coming from a scarcity mindset, not an abundance mindset. And look,
right.
Here's the deal. I can tell 10 people, I know what to do, you know what to do to be successful.
Right.
We can both tell 10 people, and guess what? Maybe one is going to take action.
Right.
So, and it's so crazy that people are paranoid about that. I mean, it's anyhow, whatever. I mean,
that's what makes this business so exciting, is that, and I always tell new people coming in the business that, and Gary, there's a quote from Gary Keller that really sort of started my whole journey 9 years ago, Toby. And he said, look, many of the leaders of this industry 5 years from now, they're not even in the business yet. And I think, I can look back at some of the people that I brought into the business in 05 and 06 as brand new agents that were young, tech savvy, people coming out of corporate America. They came into this business. And even with the shift in the economy, these are some of the top agents in all of Keller Williams, 6, 7, 8 years from me bringing them into business. So, I mean, that's one thing I tell everybody in this business. I said, look, if you just work hard and you don't give up, by default, you will be successful in this business because the average real estate agent, politely, I'll just say, is not the sharpest tool in the shed.
Yep.
And most of them are not running their businesses like businesses. And the people that just come in and are willing to be systematic and persistent, they're going to be successful because the competition is weak at best.
That's right.
In this industry.
That's right. Man, they're weak. It's just like, hunting, man. They're weak, man. Take those weak ones down, man. So listen, we got to wrap. We got to wrap like in 2 minutes. Yeah. So here's how I always end it, right? And you cannot say it's about a book. You cannot say Gary's book, okay? Any of them. So I'm an aspiring agent. I have $25. Yeah. What book should I go buy today?
You say I can't say the Gary Keller book, right? And obviously Gary has multiple books, so I won't bring up the one thing or any of that stuff. But I think the one thing is kind of, a book that every real estate new agent should read.
You just did it. You just did it.
Yeah. I know. I did it. Well, of course I did it. Are you kidding me?
All right.
But this is what I'll say. I'll take it outside of it, and I'll reference a book I've already mentioned in this conversation, which is a book by Simon Sinek called Start With Why. I think one of the biggest mistakes agents make, salespeople make, companies make, organizations make, is that they try to communicate their value proposition from their what instead of coming from their why. And one of the great quotes from Simon Sinek is, people don't buy what you do. They buy why you do it.
Yes.
And I think the agents that understand what their why is and know how to incorporate that into their marketing, into their branding, into their day-to-day operations, they're the ones that create customers for life, because their customers connect with them on a deeper level. And Toby, this business, look, you can keep throwing money at generating new customers, or you can build your business around retaining your existing customers and creating a referral business that will blow any marketing dollar business out of the water. Okay, so bottom line is, you start with why by Simon Sinek. People don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. And if you can learn to communicate from your why, you'll create customers for life.
I agree 100%. Look, I want to say a couple things real quick before we wrap. Number one, if you want to get a free copy of any of these books, you can just use our Audible link, audibletrial.com/superagentslive. Go there, get a copy of Simon Sinek's book or something from Gary. And before you buy Simon's book, just Google Start With Why TED Talk, and there's 18 minutes of wonderful video. We will actually link it. So Sharm, my VA, hey Sharm, can you please put that link on the show notes? And that's the other thing too. Everybody, go to if you missed anything, I know he talks very fast. There's a lot of stuff he dropped here, so you can. All the show notes are going to be at his episode. So Super Agents Live. Look for Aaron's episode and read through it. All right, hey Aaron, thanks man. Thanks for coming on. I met you a couple months ago, and we maybe should have done this earlier, but thanks for coming on. How do people reach you if they want to ask you questions about
Sure.
How to build their business?
Well, you can always
whatever.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm big on Facebook, so my Facebook address is facebook.com/akaufman1. That's my Facebook address. I'm very, very active on that. I'm also at KW Careers on Twitter, or you could just go to my website, moving-careers.com, and fill out my contact page, and that'll come to me. All right. But
and by the way,
thanks for having me, Toby. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem, dude. Thanks for coming on. And just for clarity. Your contact page is not it's like because I couldn't find it. I was on your website and
it's a big apply now button.
It's the apply now button.
In my contact.
Yeah. Okay. So
moving-careers, that's plural. Somebody decided to come out with moving-career.com. So I don't know if you're on that site or what, but mine is.
Oh no, I was on yours.
Moving-careers.
Yeah, moving-careers, and then his contacts. You got to hit the apply now. It's not a contact button because I was searching around. So hey, Aaron, that's it, man. Hey, thanks for coming on. Let's keep in touch.
All right, buddy. Thanks a bunch.
See you, pal.
Let's go. Yeah. For those of you that want to know what we're all about, it's like this, yo. This is 10% luck, 20% skill, 15% concentrated power of will, 5% pleasure, 50% pain, and 100%